Shalom. Almost Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful to be here. So Friday. We're at the head of the month of Adar. This is the month of joy, happiness. Specifically talks about that because we're entering the holiday of Purim, and I'll talk about that as we get closer. But the traditions in Purim is really about changing and putting on a costume and being anything other than who you are as a representation. But that's for another time. But today is the head of the month of Adar, and it's interesting that it comes because everything is interesting. But the one of the biggest themes of Adar and of the holiday of Purim is about giving gifts to anybody, but especially to those who are unable to produce on their own, or that got a different journey than ours that is less fortunate. And today is about, do we give? Do you give? Are you a giver or are you a taker? This portion of today is Parashat Truma, which is an offering. Not a donation, but an offering. And so we'll talk about how does that apply in our daily life. Are you a giver or are you a taker? So the portion starts with Vaikhu, tell the people, and Vaikhuli Truma, and they will take for me an offering. If you're joining, hi, I'm iLan-are. I'm a spiritual life coach and a sound therapist, guiding you in reclaiming your power and shining your gifts to the world. Thank you. And so the portion of today starts with Vaikhuli Truma, and he, in the Hebrew language, it doesn't make sense. What do you mean they will take me? Usually when you say you give an offering, it says, and tell them, let them give me an offering. Give me an offering. Let's start with a scenario. When I'm in La La Land, I'm in LA, and almost every corner of the traffic light stop or something like that, there is somebody who is asking for money, or near Starbucks they're asking for food or anything of that sort. And many times, some people, I don't know about many times, but some people will give willingly, and some people will give with kind of like a face of like, here, you take and just leave me alone, or just ignore the person because, I don't know if he's going to use it for drugs or drinking or whatever. So there is an interesting point here. If we give, why do we give? Is it only to just, here, I gave something, but leave me alone? Or if we give, is it just because I want to give? How does that this passage, how does that come into play in our intention? How does this come to play in our intention? So let's go back to the verse of the portion that starts like Chuli Truma. There is the sense that when I give something, I give what I worked, my money, I did this, I'm going to give out of me. It's my wealth, my thing, my time. I'm giving. There's a sense all the time, the me. But one thing that we forget to remember is that everything that we have at every given point in time was really given by the Creator, really given by God. So when God is saying, let them take and give me, I'm not giving out of me, because everything that I have came from God. Everything that I have here, everything stays here. It's like we're renting this space. We're renting this experience. We are renting all the fortune that we are having. We're renting all this. We're given an opportunity to to be a holder for those issues. And so we're giving the opportunity to be caretakers. So when I give, I'm actually taking from God and giving Him back. So I'm really taking from something that I received and giving back. It is the lesson of giving, of understanding that everything that I have, everything that I physically have, is really not my is really not mine to begin with. It's not mine that was accumulated by my own power, by my own will, by me, by me, by me. And this is the thing of this culture, of this time, where we have this notion that everything is by me, by my might, by my power. But when I give, as God is saying to give an offering, that's why He uses the word vaikuli. Tell them to take from what I give them to return back. So when I'm standing in a traffic light, or I'm seeing somebody who is asking, who is actually putting themselves in a position of knocking on my window or asking something, I'm really not giving from, oh, my might, my power. I'm giving back from where I received. This goes into this whole into this whole bigger picture, bigger understanding of we are all connected. This is all part of our existence, that we're all connected. So when I give, I'm actually returning. And by doing that, by doing so, I'm actually accumulating for myself a spiritual gift of tzedakah, a spiritual gift of giving, to give to the other, to those who didn't have in this journey in time, in this journey on this earth, the same opportunities that I have. So when I give, I'm giving, and I'm giving gladly, because this is an understanding of where all this comes from. Because one day or 5 years or 10 years you have everything, and then the next 2 years or the next 5 years everything went away. Somebody may invested in something, and then everything, the whole market crashed. So it also teaches us, how do we look at things? How do we look at the whole scenario when something crashes, or when I have something, when I receive something? Am I looking only at the frame of what is happening, or I am expanding my view, expanding my gamut, my color gamut, to understand the whole film, that there is a bigger film that I'm just now living a few frames of it. So Vaikuli Truma, when God is saying, tell them to take an offering for me, it's like, God put this here for us to enjoy anyway. So what is the point of tell them to take from me? Is to give us the tools and the lesson and the understanding of giving, and understanding that we are one, we are connected. It's the understanding also part of, we are the wave and we are the ocean. The wave is not separate from the ocean, although sometimes some people can make it separate from the ocean, but it is not separate from the ocean. It is one wave. It is part of the ocean. It can exist, and we can call it a wave. When I say a wave, you're thinking about a wave in the ocean, but in the bigger picture, you understand that this is the ocean. It is not just a wave. It's a wave within the ocean. And this whole thing of uh, uh, um, looking at things, something, I had something in my head. Yes, connecting it back to the sentence of "Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha," loving your neighbor as you love yourself. Now, first of all, as I said many times in my videos, it's not love your neighbor, because it is really hard to love somebody we hardly know ourselves. But it is love to your neighbor, love for your neighbor. I wish for you to have all the wonderful things that this world and God has to offer. The continuation of this sentence says, I am your God. It says, "Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, ani Hashem." Love to your neighbor as yourself, I am God. Why is that word, I am God, there? I mean, and it ties back to what we give, what is not ours anyway, because we are all connected. And all this connection is God. The love, the expression, the understanding that we're connected. So when we give from a desire to make better somebody else's life, to make somebody else's life better, and make somebody else's life for even for a moment. It's like I heard this Israeli comedian that said, my joy is uh, that I is actually, he passed away not long ago. It was a very famous movie actor, Zev Revach, Alav Shalom, and may his memory be blessed. He said, you know, his parents were rabbis and all, but I gave people 2 hours of laughter. So if we give somebody a little bit of light, a little bit of laughter, we're elevating the soul. We're elevating our connection points to one another. We're elevating, and when we do the connection point, we're elevating everybody. If you take a rock and you throw it in the river, there is the ripple effects. There are ripple effects that go to all four corners of the lake. So are these four corners separated? No, they're all connected. They're all conjunct. They're all one. We are one, and this is really our power. Power not to overpower somebody else, but our power is godly and divine power. To understand the greatness that each one of us have. And no one is the same. Therefore, everyone is unique. Everybody is special. Everybody has different gifts. You have gifts that I don't have. I have gifts that you don't have. If we come together as a team, we can see how we can make something grow so big, because we are empowering each of our spiritual connection, each of our connection, because we're all one. So when we understand the concept that when I give something to somebody, I am actually returning what was entrusted in me, what was given to me. What I have today is not what I had 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Nevertheless, how do I treat that? So when I give that from point of I want to make somebody else's lives better, that's the point. That is the point. V'po kavur hakelev, and this is where the dog is buried. That's a line from a Hebrew song. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom. It is great to be reborn. I feel the sense of renewal, reborn, going through shifts that each experience teaches a new lesson, and it is how we look at everything. It is how we look at everything, understanding that this is only a frame of an entire movie. And by looking at things in that capacity, that this is our journey, this is something, every experience that we go through is something that we have to learn from it, that it is here an opportunity for us to learn and grow. Every experience, then we grow. But if we stagnate and we stay in our own four walls of our head, then we don't grow. And when we give, we're actually thinking that I'm taking out of me, it hurts me, I can't do this, it's too much. It becomes the me. And when I only see me in the mirror, when we only see me in the mirror, then there is no space for anybody else. So being your gift, being your power, give and be given, and Shabbat Shalom.